We're going to start right off with homemade theater. Yes, 1776. I can't believe you're taking on such a big production. So who wants to talk about it?
Well, we thought we'd start with a little history.
Good. I'm glad you do.
Since it's 1776. So the homemade theater has had a very beautiful foundation laid by Mr. Foster and Ms. Miller back in 1985.
I know it's been around a while.
Right? I mean,
40 years.
40 years.
Yeah.
Which brought us to Cafe Lena, a small statement, then onward to our little spa in Saratoga Park, and now to our wonderful Wilton area with the homemade theater. And
where are you performing?
We will be performing. Well, I'll let the actors talk about
that
all right. Because I feel like I'm overstepping.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't want to get you off your game here.
No, that's fine. No, this is your show. No, I just would love to say that our mission and how we got to 1776 is to cultivate that local talent, and that is what the foundation was laid on from Mr. Foster and Ms. Miller. They wanted to incorporate something wonderful for the capital region that was affordable, that was something that everybody could learn and get educated on. And so homemade theater is taking that history and bringing it to the forefront now.
Going forward.
Bringing us into this 40-year, 175 plays and musicals. Yes. So.
And who counted all those? My goodness.
Certainly not me.
I stopped at 50.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, that brings us to 1776.
Okay.
And we're quite proud, and we're excited to see everybody July 18th through 27th. So check our website, homemadetheater.org.
Good. So,
yeah, this has been one of the best years that we've had in recent years.
You're a board member, right?
Yes, in recent years.
Okay.
The pandemic.
Yeah, it hit everybody. There was always a big bump in the road.
It hit us really hard because we did have the Spa Little Theater, and then after that we didn't. So we became. We've been spending the last 5 years reorganizing. Now we're an all-volunteer board. And this is our first season. It happens to be our 40th season. And last spring, we're trying to figure out how to get our act together because it's the first time we've run it as a board instead of having an executive director and a business manager and all those other things.
I see what you're saying. The board is doing the work.
So we don't have paid staff anymore.
Okay.
And we put together a couple of shows.
I didn't know you ever had paid staff.
Yeah, we did. We had Stacy Barnes for almost 30 years was our executive director.
I had no idea.
And Eric
That's
Rudy
unusual
and
for
Aaron.
Theater groups.
Yeah, we were, well, when you had a 500-seat theater and you were a fairly popular theater group, you were able to afford it.
You're bringing in some money, yeah.
And that kind of dried up a little bit, and that's why we went to that volunteer organization. And we put on murder mysteries this year. We put on a Christmas cabaret, and finally got to our main stage this
to
fall,
do a musical.
in
Oh my
February,
God! And what musical you picked?
And we got 1776. We did Oklahoma just recently
I
too.
know, I remember that.
And that was a great success out at Pitney Meadows. And that's one of the things we're tackling now is trying to find like a more permanent home. And you
and Harbinger are doing the same things, trying to find a
we bounce between the Saratoga Music Hall where 1776 is being performed in Pitney Meadows, and pretty much any place we can find to put on a production that we can make sure the audience has a good time. Did you do some
outside?
Yeah. We haven't done anything outside. Pitney Meadows is a greenhouse.
I always get confused about that.
Greenhouse, but it's not outside. Thank God, because the weather was horrible.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because I had you guys on the show and talk about
and
that.
And now we're so excited to have 1776 as our next production. As you said, it's a big production.
It's a big. We're going to talk to some of the cast here now.
And these guys know more about it than we do.
Adams here, and we got John Adams. We got the Adams here, the Adams family. No, wait, that's another one. Good. Tell me, so first of all, Abigail, we'll start with you. Have you been doing a lot of theater work?
I've done a lot of community theater in the area, but this is my first show with the homemade theater, so I'm super excited to be on board.
Good.
Yes.
All right. And what about you?
So I've done community theater in this area for close to 20 years now, and this is my fifth show with Homemade Theater in the last couple of years. So
Oh, really?
it's super exciting. It's actually really fun. So our director, Mike Gatz, directed me when I did Bark Youth Theater when starting in seventh, I was 7, I think, when I started. And
You started at 7 years. Oh my goodness!
and
what
Mike
a
and I
trooper.
haven't, but Mike and I have not done a show together in the last almost 18 years. Was the last time we did a show together was Bye Bye Birdie, my
that's
senior year
such a
of high
great
school,
musical,
and
yeah.
it was just fantastic to reconnect with him.
What part
during
did you
this.
play in?
I was Albert in
You were
Bye Bye Birdie.
okay.
So.
Just checking to see who you were. Okay, so tell me a little bit between the two of you. I don't know who wants to talk. What's it like? How big is the cast, first of all?
I think about 23 people in the cast. Yeah.
23.
Yes.
And what'd you do about costumes? Because that's period costumes, so.
Yes. I don't know if you want to answer that.
Yeah, I was going to say, our costumer is absolutely phenomenal. Homemade Theater has such a vast collection from doing stuff over the years, and there's such a great collaboration between the different community theaters.
I know they are. They're
when it
very good
comes
about
to-
sharing costumes.
Exactly. So, the few things we've seen pulled so far are gorgeous. And, we're still relatively early in the rehearsal process.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't really tried on a lot of stuff yet, but what we're seeing being pulled is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, that's
So-
great. That's great. And when is it? We'll get back to the board here. When is the productions?
Production's in
July
July.
18th through the 27th.
18th
Yep.
through the
At the
22nd, and
Saratoga
it's going
Musical.
to be held where?
A Saratoga musical
Okay, and where's that located?
in Saratoga.
Yeah,
On
no,
Broadway.
On Broadway. It's right
City
on.
Hall. It's right. It's the third floor of City Hall. You can't miss
Okay,
it.
you can't
Got
miss
it.
it. It's the City Hall. Okay, you can't miss it.
Can't
so
miss it.
anyway,
On Broadway.
You're right. Is it 2 weekends you're doing it?
Yes.
Usually 2 weekends. Was it difficult? I mean, you're board members, I know, but was it difficult to get this group together, or? I mean, when she's talking 23, I mean,
always a challenge.
tell me.
You're always casting for any musical, especially musicals, because they have larger casts. It's tough in Saratoga. There's a lot of competition going on. We have a lot of theater groups around the area. Finding male actors is very difficult, and when you have a show that is mostly male, it is even more difficult.
Because there's competition for roles.
Right.
I mean, because you've got. I mean, if you look at the Capital Region Festival Theaters, we're all involved with that whole thing. You're looking at so many theater groups in our area. Now, I'm not just talking Capital Region, but we're spreading out Gloversville and all around, down to Catskill even. They're all looking for that talent.
Yeah.
And how do you get it?
Connections.
Connections.
People.
Do you-
People know people. The directors know people. The board, we know people. We have a good pool of talent.
We
But
do.
obviously, when you're looking for people to be in your play, you hold auditions, and when you find the right people, you put them in the play. And sometimes you just get on the phone and you start calling. Hey, I had you in a play 2 years ago. You were really good. Do you have time for this?
Yeah.
And I've actually been in a production where I was called. I didn't go to auditions.
You didn't even
I didn't go to
audition,
audition, but they needed somebody, and they said, "Hey, why can you try out for it?"
You hear sometimes a director already has it kind of precast in their mind. They know who they want in certain parts, and they just
Yeah,
hope that they show up, right?
I try not to get into a director's mind
Yeah.
because they have lots of times when this is their pet project. They've put the submission in 6 months prior,
Yeah.
and they've been thinking about this. And you're right, they probably have some preconceived notions of who they want,
they want with
and
that
if they
part.
can get that person, they're happy, and if they don't, they
got their
try to
fingers
find a
crossed,
person that fits.
Because that person might be in another production.
Yeah, I'll speak on that. As a director, I feel that I can have it all in my head, but I'm so excited to see what I didn't see or what it's not in my head to give me a different idea. Many times I'll attend shows locally, and it's almost like scouting. I'll see, look at the name, and I'll say, I'll talk to
they
him.
would be good, yeah.
I think that's important because
Yeah.
then I know the familiarity of the actor and how they feel on stage, how they sound. And
That's a good way. You're auditioning without auditioning, right?
it's a feat. out there now.
Yeah, it's out there
But
now.
I have no problem
well,
sharing
no,
that
but
because I
you're
think-
probably not the only one that does
No,
that.
I'm sure I'm not.
You know.
No.
So
There's
yeah, it's just because you're always looking
Sure.
at the people on stage and saying, oh, they'd be perfect for that part.
And I think as an actress myself, I would probably love that if someone came up to me and said, hey, I saw you in, what do you think of?
Yeah.
So-
Well, how would you be interested in playing such a judge? You know, it's like, I mean, and when you talked about males, I mean, because it's difficult sometimes to cast the male. I've known of productions that had to cancel because they
Yeah.
just couldn't get the cast.
That's
you know,
unfortunate.
and that's terrible when
Yeah.
that happens because you've kind of secured the rights to that. And
Yep.
people don't understand the rights, I think, of getting the plays. We talked about that in a previous show. But you never know because you get your heart set as a director. You get a heart set on a certain play, and then you find out that some group is doing it over here, and it's within 50 miles, and you can't. You
Can't do
know.
it
We go
longer.
through that a
That's
lot. Our
heartbreaking.
artistic committee, they get together and they try to get submissions, and then they try to figure out which plays, and then all of a sudden you find out that a professional theater is doing it
Yeah.
down the road 2 weeks before you wanted to do it. And so you say, okay, we can't do that. Now what are we going to do in its place?
I know.
And,
And you
it's-
don't always have a backup.
You don't always have a backup. But and the one thing
Because
is
you
we're
need
doing
a
these,
director to. I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
you just pick a play. You got to have the people that want to direct that play too.
and we all do it 6 to 8 months in advance. So
Yeah.
it's like we don't exactly know what everybody else is going to be doing.
Yeah.
So we have to be flexible every now and then. And when I was in Joseph, I had brothers. Because we didn't have enough men, so half the brothers were girls,
Yeah.
were female,
It's okay. And it worked.
And I'm still good friends with them today. It's so fun. We always like pound
the
fists
fist
and
bump,
and say brother.
Well, okay, one more time. It's at Saratoga Music Hall, and
For
it's in July,
July
on
18th through the
18th,
27th.
27th.
Yep.
Break a leg. Good.
you.
Thank you
Thank
all
you.
for being here. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank
Really
you.
nice to see you all. Come again. Yeah.